Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Greetings and salutations, just like the great Keith Lee would usually say to you. And welcome back to a fun-filled little episode as we continue to grow this lovable channel that I am starting to create along with a couple of people of mine. Thank you so much. And as you know, we're slowly trying to get our content and get our focus, just trying to get ourselves out there slowly but surely. We are starting with a shovel and grounding, getting ourselves slowly building a foundation. So our videos, these videos, slowly but surely, hopefully we will get some more and more content with you, with more of the crazier things that are going on in the whole entire world as we know it. Could not ever ask enough that if you do like any of these contents, definitely hit that little like thing down there and subscribe. It'll help me grow, help me and help my boys and help everybody else grow the channel. This will help us out a great bit for a small growing, we just came out of the womb. So hopefully every ounce of help will be appreciated. But if you like the humor so far, you like the takes, you can always put a take on there as always. But in this little video, unfortunately I had to reshoot this because I did one the other day basically about who JimmyJamm is, and in a nutshell I tried to go as quick and as thorough as I could, and I ended up going a little too far, and I ended up going a little too thorough in my definition. So I'm going to try to make it as kind of simple as I can to where the name came from. And in case anybody, like maybe even in my own family, maybe in people that I grew up with, maybe in my own graduating class, hint hint, there's the reason why, and even the people that I used to go out dance and break dance with back in the day. In a long story short, JimmyJamm was basically given to me by the people who bullied and picked on me in high school. They knew as we grew older that I was starting to become as like them, a little bit more of an adult, starting to take care of myself physically, mentally, psychologically, and to the point where the people that bullied me or picked on me were either the bullies or the high-end people, meaning the high-end district, meaning those the popular people. And I remember deep down, they knew that I was good at dancing. They knew I was good at breaking. They knew I was good at hip-hop and step. And they knew I was pretty much learning on my own how to basically be good out and going out to dances and doing all the fun stuff. Because where I come from, where my original hometown is, there's not much to do. So there was a lot of watching Dance Party USA, Club MTV, The Grind, and plus not a lot to do. I watched a lot of MTV. I watched a lot of music videos. I'm a very huge music video buff. I remember a lot of some of the different stuff that came out. It's now to the point where I have forgotten a lot of the music videos I love that most people will ever remember. That's how much I recognize a lot of MTV stuff. Nowadays, I boycott that channel. Pretty much because they don't play music videos anymore. And they still are having the MTV Video Music Awards. Help me with that. Anyway, bottom line is, let's just put this into a perspective. I still go out and try to break dance, and I can't, my body has changed, and now that I'm 48 years old, and I know some legendary b-boys that are up there as well, and they're still kicking it. But in this area where I come from, there's not a lot of places to go. So the way I grew up was I was still going out to all different types of places every now and then when I was younger, and those people that picked on me in high school, they called me JimmyJamm because they knew I could dance. They knew I could, I don't know, I could go against some of the best people. But I always knew there was always a catch. If I went out and tried to battle somebody, I knew I'd get embarrassed. I knew something would happen. I was 5 steps ahead and just say, if I had to chicken out, I knew, hands down, I would be set up. Because that's pretty much almost what seemed like my senior year. So basically, the whole entire senior year, I was walking on eggshells trying to impress people and just say, nah, I don't feel like doing it. I don't feel like it. And then when I end up going somewhere else, I let loose. And that's where and that's where, where I came from, Shannon Valley, which is dead central PA. I went out and got invited to hang out in the neighboring high school in Phillipsburg, Osceola, and I pretty much basically made probably the best friends I've ever made, probably in my entire 48 years of life of living on this earth. Those people, when the graduating class of 93 in Phillipsburg, Osceola, a good handful, I know them by heart. I don't know if I'll ever see them again, but those people are in my debt. Those people I will always hold in my heart because those people accepted me for who I was. And at the same time, there were people that did dance just like me and just enjoyed going out and just, it was their own clique, but it was a clique that was, in a way, kind of likable. And when I started going to other dances, I went to PO, I went to Phillipsburg, Osceola dances. I went to neighboring Clearfield. I went to neighboring West Branch. Went all around because I knew I had friends elsewhere more than I did in Shannon Valley, in my old high school. And I still had a very, very small circle of friends that were either in my school business curriculum classes or in my lunch table. Those were that circle that I had. And the great thing about it is those people that weren't in my circle, that either bullied me or didn't like me or didn't like the fact that I was sticking up for myself and being a man at 17, 18 years old, they keep in contact with me now. They're in my Facebook. That's a beautiful thing as we get older. And crazy as it is, there's a 30th year class reunion coming up. I might do a video on that down the road. Keep posted. That's coming down the road pretty soon. Anyway, I just continued to just basically, in a way of speaking, take this name and ran with it. My class called me this. And I ran with it. They also knew that I was dancing around in 1992, 93, and at the same time, Marky Mark was big. Mark Wahlberg is that multi-billion-dollar actor now. And he's now bigger for his movies than he was for the 2.5 years he was a rap mogul. Did I dress like him in a way of speaking back in the day in 92? Kind of. Did I have, I can admit, with God underneath me, or God above me, did I have the Calvin Klein underwear? Yes, I did. Did I look like him? Hair-wise, yes. Body-wise, not necessarily. But at the same, I just kind of mimicked everything he did. I mimicked every other type of the music videos that were out. And that's in all aspects besides all the practicing that I did on my own up in a garage that's right above my parents' house. That's where I kind of got better at it. And then it was all the TV and the music videos I watched, memorizing stuff and just remembering how things went. And that also got me into kind of a music loving type of world, because as of back then, I kind of got into the rap, into the hip hop, and some pop, but mostly into the hip hop phase, where I just loved a lot of the music that came out in the 90s going into 2000s. And I just remember going into different clubs and all that stuff, mostly around central Pennsylvania. I did a couple things outside of like the central PA area, but I was very, very fortunate to meet a good handful of people, a handful of artists as well. But I was not a kid that did windmills. I couldn't do windmills. At the same time, I did a lot of different stuff with a lot of different types of b-boys and breakers and just big dancers, whether it was pop and lock, whether it was just liquid pop, whether it was just hip-hop step, whether it was house music, whether it was the house step, Chicago house, Detroit, New York, it didn't matter. Even a little bit of rave, did a little bit on and off. But everybody has their phases, and I had mine, and I'm not ashamed to have it. Everybody has their little nicks. I had mine, and I'm not afraid to show it, and I'm not afraid to own it either. JimmyJamm will always be pretty much me in general. I add another M to it so I don't do any freaking copyright crap. And then I decided to just change a little bit and just here and there. It wasn't even just change now that I'm 48. I evolve. So going out to clubs is not really pretty much a thing now for me. And now that the youth is taking over, and the youth is all over the place, they now own this entire godforsaken world as we know it, the Gen Z and millennial people. I represent Gen X, but still, we now have to deal with people. That's just a thing. So where did JimmyJamm come from? That's exactly, you can ask the people that I graduated in 1993, because they are solely the responsible people who called me this. They did it. JimmyJamm, JJ, I embrace with open arms, because they're the ones that did it. So in a way, it's like they created me. And in a way, you know, it doesn't, I kind of think about it, and I just think to myself, now that I know a 30-year class reunion is coming up, 30-year anniversary is coming up in the middle of October, and I will do a video down the road about that. But I miss those people. I miss some of them. Some of them probably still, to this day, don't give a rip. But I know some of them, without a shadow of a doubt, barring any other godforsaken trap that is being set, which I kind of doubted, because we're running out of time, guys. We don't know what's next. We don't know. We literally don't know when's the next time we're ever going to run to each other and share a beer, or just eat a piece of pizza, for God's sake. I look forward to it. I still haven't made a decision yet of where I'm going to go, but I think I know a handful of people that do in fact know that they are responsible for calling me this, and I like it. I always have. I always will. And this, during my days as a dancer, as a hip-hop dancer, a b-boy, a breaker, a raver, whatever, I had my phases. I had my phases in State College. I had my phases in Altoona and Harrisburg, and going to a rave in Philadelphia. I did a lot of different stuff. It wasn't a lot of stuff that a lot of other people have done, but I've had my share, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed every ounce of it. It's not very often I get a chance to do it with some of the best b-boy friends that I'll have in my life. Down the road, when I get that GoPro, we're gonna have our first big talks with some of those people, hopefully down the road. Anyway, shooting this real quick at you because it's late and I want to go to bed. But at the same time, if you guys really wanted to know where JimmyJamm came from, well, now you know. The floor is yours. I take this almost like a badge on my sleeve now. And I'll tell you what, after everything that's gone down, the good and the bad and the indifferent, I'm proud. I think proud is probably the best word that you could possibly put, especially for myself. You like this? You like this little chat that we're having, and me just blurting out why in God's name people call me this or whatever? Hit that like button. Subscribe if you like to hear in some of these stories, because there's going to be a heck of a lot more to come. I appreciate you hanging out, and we will do this again down the road. Until then, I will see you bloody legends down the road.